Hi. Um, so this is a little weird because I got my glasses and they're reflecting horrifically. So I'm gonna take them off. Um, I've got a couple things going on. This is the third. It's the third day that I'm broadcasting in a row, or recording in a row, whatever. Um, so I decided that I wanted to have people ask questions. I want to do like a Q&A thing because I thought it would be funny and I thought it would be cool, and it beats me talking about whatever random inane crap I had not intended on talking about anyway. Um, excuse me. So, um, for my obligatory personal rant, where I use lots of hand gestures because I love hand gestures, um, today I ran into a lot of scenarios where people were not communicating with each other when they really should have. And the moment the communication started, like, situations that were supposed to be these like crazy crises type things ended up working themselves out. And I am not by any stretch of the imagination the paragon of all things communication. Most of you know I've been divorced twice, and both of those have ended because I didn't communicate. I didn't communicate, I didn't talk. The other party didn't communicate or talk. There are countless scenarios. I don't want to go and drag into each individual specifics or whatever, but the thing is there was a distinct lack of communication through one part or the other part or both parts to one degree or another. And so I decided that, like, personally, um, I would be communicative. I would definitely express everything that was going on. I wouldn't hold back. And as a result, I've effectively been single, because part of being Matt is living with a certain level of emotional dissociation, partially because of all the crap that I've been through and the divorces, and kind of jaded and scarred me a little bit. Um, and so I've had to tell a couple of would-be girlfriends who end up turning into would-be ex-girlfriends that there may come a time, particularly as I get more committed to them, that I may just emotionally shut off, and it has nothing to do with them. It's just what it is. And then for some reason, right after that, the relationship kind of falls apart. And there's a part of me that thinks maybe I shouldn't do that, but then again, there's also the part of me that gets to watch relationships collapse whenever I don't mention it, and then it jumps out. So, communication. I had several situations today where people were like, "Well, this person should just know that this is going on." Well, no, they shouldn't just know. It's not a goddamn person on the face of the earth that's a telepath. Well, okay, stop that. Anyway, um, most people are intuitive to a degree, but not to the degree that they're just going to understand every little nuance of every little detail that's going on in your brain. And if you don't talk about it, and if you don't express it, you don't write it out, you don't put it somewhere so that people can look at it, and if you don't expose yourself in that way, people aren't just gonna know what's going on with you. Um, I tell people a lot of times that my Facebook is really kind of a stream of consciousness. It's not. My Facebook is not, oh, look, this is what I did today, and it was terribly insightful. No, this is a stream of consciousness rant, basically, right out of my brain in, whatever. So, like, you may see, if you see multiple music videos, look for a common theme, because that's what I'm trying to express, but I'm also a media junkie, so I don't express things by necessarily just talking about them. I may express it in the form of a movie scene, or I may express it in the form of 2 or 3 music videos that share a common thematic train of thought, or I may post pictures up, because I mean most people will do it through the picture sharing and kind of communicate things they think are cute or things they think are catchy or trendy or whatever. I really do it if it's what's in my head at the moment. Um, so right now, if you're with someone, or if you're going to be with someone, or if you're planning to be with someone, or if you desperately want to be with someone, line up conversation time with that person and talk. Just like whatever. It doesn't have to be anything. It's stupid. It can be the dumbest thing on the face of the earth. It can be some of the crap that we're going to talk about here in a minute when I answer the questions from some of my friends on Facebook. Um, it can be any inane dumb shit that you come up with. It's just communication. Um, developing that kind of bond, that shared experience that needs to exist, needs to happen. Um, some of my absolute favorite relationships to look at are relationships that they communicate all the damn time. It's not even funny. And yes, there may get to a point where you don't necessarily need to communicate with the person because you do know them, but that's after a while. That's after you've experienced a lot of things with them and you've had a chance to kind of get a sense of who they are. Going back to last week, last week, wow, yesterday's thing about who you are, sharing that with somebody. Anyway, question and answer time, because I know you've desperately waited for the opportunity to ask me questions, poignant, deep-rooted questions that you want answers to. So I'm going to set up some of these, and I'm gonna answer these, but I reserve what order I answer them in. I'm also gonna have to put on my glasses because I'm nearsighted as shite. Let's us see. See if we can't get an easy one first. Okay. My good old buddy Tim Schmidt. Tim. I would like to know why you haven't come out of the closet. Well, first off, I understand you've been waiting for that for a very long time, Tim. And in order to ease your little heart and save you the butt hurt, the answer to that is that I'm very comfortable in my closet. Thank you very much. I have set up my closet. True story. When I was actually a little kid, growing up in Baton Rouge, I had this massive room because it was me and my brothers and my sister. And my brothers had a room, my sister had a room, and I had a room. But I had the downstairs room that was the laundry. It was supposed to be the laundry room, so it ended up being this big, huge room, great craziness. And I had like a computer desk and a sofa, and it was just really cool. Like I love that room. Like if I could recreate that room, I would never leave it again. It was just that awesome. I mean, I'd have to work and maybe eventually, meet a girl or whatever, but such is what it is. But the closet was actually the one where you had supposed to have the washer and dryer. Well, I had one of those old foam pull-out chair bed things, and I took it and I laid it across the bottom of the closet, and I put in like a book lamp, and because really, like when I was young, you may not know this about me, but I was a rampant nerd, and so like literally, in my tiny little cubby hole of a closet, I had in my tiny little cubby hole of a closet, I had the little pull-up bed, I had a book lamp, I had a little thing like a little coffee stand type thing that had a bunch of books on it that I would read until I fell asleep. And then I'd have some blankets and stuff. And it was always really weird. Like, my mom actually lost me once upon a time going through the house until she realized that I was actually just in my closet reading and just being myself in my own little clannish little world. It was pretty cool. So, if I ever had a closet like that again, I would never leave it. And so the answer to why I haven't come out of the closet is, have you seen my fucking closet? It's awesome. Anyway. Let us see here. So yes, Dom, aka long Greek named person, did have it right. This one's easy. All my stuff is in there. It's true. My friend Kyle wanted to know what is my favorite World of Darkness game and why. Or do a top 3 and explain highlights of each one. First off, I'm not going to do a list. This is not say anything. This is not. I'm not John Cusack, and I'm not going to like hold a stereo above my head for whatever reason for anybody. Get the REM reference? Anyway, um, my favorite World of Darkness game is Werewolf the Apocalypse. Um, there is a defined enemy. Every tribe serves a role. And while they may disagree with each other and they may squabble with each other, like, oh, say, rabid dogs or wolves or whatever, they all serve a fundamental part of the Gaian end of the world thing. The whole apocalypse move, the fight towards apocalypse. There's a defined goal. But there's more than that. There's also this really deep mythology that is intrinsic to the world, because like with D&D, you may be a cleric and you may worship Cuthbert or Pelor or Mayahine or whoever the hell you want to worship, but they're the mythology. They're the mythology. You may become a bar story. In Apocalypse, like, your death, if you do it right, is a matter of song. It's a matter of, like, you're one of the destined fighters. Yes, you're gonna die, but in that death, making your death have meaning, that's important. Some people have noticed this, and I got into a discussion with somebody once about the fact that for the longest time I refused to have a cell phone case. Because I wanted it to say something about me. And the person kind of rolled their eyes and was like, Matt, it's a damn cell phone case. It's a case for your cell phone. Except for the fact that, to me, like, everything around me, I try to have meaning in what I do. And for the record, that is the back of my cell phone case. Yes, it is a copy of the cover of Fahrenheit 451. Because, I'm all about social control, about, understanding social control and what kind of effect the media is having on you and things like that. So, but Apocalypse, it all has meaning. The spirit world that they go into, the Umbra, it's very animistic. It is animistic. Everything has a spirit. Things that were built too quickly haven't developed their spirit yet. Objects that had been around since the dawn of time and then got obliterated, their spirits are still there, because there's been this kind of rich tapestry woven about the spirit world that you're in. That and the fact that Native American mysticism has always kind of appealed to me in one way, shape, or form, going all the way back to when I was a little kid. That and the fact that, like, in Vampire, you're building a fighter, but if you're a fighter, you're really not going to be like the political or the spiritual type, or and there are exceptions to the rules, and if you twink this stat and only buy this stat to this, and I understand all that, but like in Werewolf, even the scrawny little shaman, when he goes war form, he's a beast. He's capable of holding his own. Maybe not as capable as holding his own as the guy who's, even in his human form, is sitting here benching, 4 dots and going crazy. But Apocalypse is ultimately about, you're fighting a lost cause, you're on a doomed world, and you're hoping for that one chance, that one last minute battle that will determine everything. Wins are really just holding actions. Losses are deeply felt, because there aren't very many of you left, and even then, who's to say who catches who first? So Apocalypse has definitely always been one of my biggest game. Like, I've always been a big fan of it. I'm going to now go to, Mary. Mary wants to know, why am I so awesome? Well, have you met me? That's my first question. That's my first statement. Why am I so awesome? Well, you see, the world is a vampire, and it's sent to drain. No, that's not it. No one knows what it's like to be the sad man, to be the bad man behind blue eyes. No, fuck. Let's see. Once upon a time, me and my brother Kyle were traveling down a long and lonesome road. No. I'm gonna say this. I am awesome. This is gonna be my serious answer to your question. I am awesome because I am actually not awesome. I am above average in pretty much everything. I mean, maybe not like, the number of crunches or sit-ups I'm able to do, because I can beat Santa Claus. That's, I guess, a plus. But in terms of mentally and socially and things like this, I'm above average in most categories. The issue I run into is that because I am really good at a lot of things, I'm not exceptional at any one thing. And because I can do a bunch of things, it makes deciding what I want to do almost terrifyingly stifling for me. And so, because I'm good enough at everything, I have tried to live my life. Once upon a time, I was reading an article about the samurai. They never tried to be great bankers because there were people out there who were bankers. And so the samurai would leave matters of banking to the bankers, and they would focus on their matters, which were, service to their lord and going out to fight or to serve in government as needed. They never tried to build armor because there were people who dedicated their lives to building armor. So why should they learn that skill? It was seen as beneath them, and that really latched onto me at a younger age, and even to the point where when I was in Amp Guard, I would run into situations where I could learn to sew garb. I could, and I have made several fairly passable attempts at it because I'm good at a number of things, but I don't have an interest in developing it to make it an amazing, really good skill that I have. Wherein I have other friends like John and Samara and a number of other individuals that their crap is 30 times better than mine. Their crap is 30 times better than my average effort. Yes, they've worked at it, but it's something they enjoy doing. And so if I'm in a situation where somebody else I know needs good costuming, needs really great costuming, I'm not going to try and do it myself. I've got this other guy over here. Haha. Those are fingers. I have this other guy over here who will be more than happy to take the commission, get the money, do the work, and they'll put love and joy and dedication into it. And I become the guy that knows the guy. And that's where I've been. And the thing is, because I have a lot of those people, because I live in social circles and I develop social circles and learn how to connect into different social circles, I don't have to, I can make a lot of this look effortless. And that's the thing, there are dancers in this world. There are dancers in this world who could dance circles around Gene Kelly. But the reason that people remember Gene Kelly is that he made it look effortless. And that's always been my thing. Whatever you do, there's a lot of things. Whatever you do, be the best at it. Don't be the best at it. I mean, do your best. Do your best. But do what you do in a way that makes it look effortless. Because that's what people remember. If you don't even break a sweat and you crank out amazing, then they're gonna see that as amazing. Even if you're not turning out the absolute best thing in the entire face of the universe. And so the thing is, why I am awesome dear reader, dear viewer, is that I hear what one person's problem is. I find another person who's got that necessary skill, and makes it look good. And I put those two orbits together, watch how that happens, and I make it look effortless. And so as a result, I end up looking amazing because of the work of other people. I have had people talk down to me about that. Don't care. People are happy with my work, and people think I'm awesome. So that's the answer. The final question is the one that I kind of have to snort at because it was actually the one I answered the easiest whenever it popped up. So Cyclops, Storm, Rogue, Nightcrawler, and Gambit against Batman, the Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, Flash, and the Green Lantern in a death match. Who wins? The answer is the X-Men. Now, I've immediately, based on what I read here on my Facebook, and I have heard the souls of the children crying already about Batman. Well, that's cool, but the conditions that we're dealing with are a death match. Batman won't kill. So, incapacitation doesn't count. It has to be a kill. Batman won't kill. Only in rare circumstances is he ever killed, and he won't do it this time, especially since technically the X-Men are decent enough human beings. So Batman doesn't have a justifiable reason to kill. However, the extended question, strategy, tactics, whatnot. I think Manhunter would give most of these guys a problem. Wonder Woman I don't see as that big a fight. Wonder Woman will probably attack. You know, she's probably one of the heavy hitters. The moment she tries to get that lasso around Nightcrawler, he's out. The moment she tries to get it around Gambit, he energizes it. The moment he tries to get it, or the moment she tries to get it around Storm just electrocutes the fuck out of her because it's goddess on goddess. Flash gets countered by Nightcrawler. I might give it to Flash because Nightcrawler can't necessarily see where Flash is going, whereas Flash gets to watch Nightcrawler materialize and dematerialize in each location. So that might be the tricky fight. Green Lantern is about 50% effective against the X-Men because the other half of their uniform is blue. So only the blue parts are going to be effective on the X-Men. I'm sorry. The yellow parts, they're just going to go straight through. No, I could imagine Rogue. This is assuming this is post powers Rogue, or once she got her powers. Once she got Miss Marvel's powers or Captain Marvel's powers, whatever. Once she got the chick's powers. If Rogue can get her hands on the Green Lantern, it's over. Because she will sap him dry. And the best thing he can do is try to encase himself in the lantern, but if she's already got her hand on him, it's pretty much over. Now the good thing is he's got that cool suit that may stop the skin contact. That would definitely be a fight, but at the end, Rogue is still going to out-tough any of the lanterns that I can think of, because she's just going to take the beating. The issue that I see here is that with the JLA, you're missing their number one strategic guy, which is Superman. In terms of field leadership, yes, Diana would be able to hold it in a pinch. Yes, say Hal Jordan would be able to do something. But ultimately, Cyclops, for all of his chuckle-headed goofiness, being the white hat, he's still a team leader. He still knows how to pull his team together and make them work the best. Plus, he's going to be taking pot shots at people. He may not get into Wonder Woman because of her bracelets. He may not be able to get into, may not be able to hit the Flash, but he can keep Green Lantern distracted. Gambit is, of course, going to throw all kinds of crazy energy wuju at people. Manhunter might be difficult to bring down. The issue with Batman, Nightcrawler could handle Batman, because unless Batman's turning on his like crazy super senses that allows him to hit where Nightcrawler's going, Nightcrawler's just going to kind of move around the fight, unless Flash aggroes him. Rogue, that's another issue. If Rogue decides not to engage Green Lantern, Rogue decides to engage Batman, then the moment she touches Batman, Bruce is screwed. Bruce doesn't have these awesome superpowers. Now, the trade-off is that Rogue won't be getting cool superpowers, but also, I'm a big believer in party buffers, and Cyclops and Storm are your two party buffers on the X-Men team. They're both leaders. They're both capable of coordinating tactics and doing these things. Whereas Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, they've got the coordination, but they're not the leaders of the JLA. Whereas Cyclops and Storm are the team leaders of the X-Men. So ultimately, it comes down to the fact that Travis, who submitted the question to me, listed this as a death match, and Batman won't kill the X-Men. He does not have a reason to. This isn't Deadliest Warrior where they meet on a hill and suddenly decide to stab each other in the face repeatedly. This is, I'm assuming that they're coming up against each other in like a cross-universe thing. Maybe they're told that the other side's good or bad. I don't know. But the problem is Batman is going to disable because Batman wants answers. Because Batman's a detective. And besides, the moment he realizes that there's a portal to the Marvel Universe, Batman's just going to go there anyway because it makes a hell of a lot more sense him being there than him being in DC. Ultimately, the problem is Batman won't kill. And if this is a death match, then Batman will lose. Or he'll evacuate the fight to try to figure out another way to come at it, which is a Batman thing to do. The problem is that removes him from the competition and immediately puts the X-Men back on a power play. The problem is the X-Men work and train and fight together, and I don't see that coming out of the JLA. So those would be my take on these situations. Batarang versus the Ruby Visor. If Batman thinks about knocking if Batman knew that the visor would cause Cyclops, would completely disable Cyclops, then he might do it. But in the question, there was no foreknowledge of the characters, because of course if there's foreknowledge, then the JLA is not going to attack the X-Men because they know they're from Xavier's Academy. Xavier's Academy is generally a good organization. The X-Men are out to help people. Like, if there were foreknowledge, there wouldn't be a reason for JLA and the X-Men to fight. So what you're having to deal with is they cross the portal, shit gets real. The only thing is, like, one or two blasts from Cyclops' visor might clue Batman in to try and disable the visor, but the problem is if Scott's looking the wrong way, it could be bad very, very fast for either side. So I think that's the ultimate answer is, if this is a death match, Bruce Wayne will not kill, and that's going to be the detriment to a death match scenario. So yeah, that's that. The only thing I have to say or add is that Sons of Anarchy was awesome. You really needed to be watching it. Things have gone really awesome, and I've never been more pumped out to watch a show. It'll be interesting watching Walking Dead, but Sons kind of still owns my soul. Anyway, that's what I have, and I will go ahead and begin the arduous process of uploading this. If you have questions or comments, or just want to be like, Matt, you're a retard and you're wrong. Well, first off, I'm not wrong. I'm not. Also, it's an opinion piece, so if you don't like it, meh. So yeah, and if you got the REM reference, make a note of it, send me a private message, and I may have a present for you or something cool. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.